This is the Type R Sportline. It's still a Type R, but it just hasn't got that big fat wing that's normally seen on the Type R. Now, as you can see, I've got a date over there with a few national speed limit signs. I'll see you in a sec. So here we have it, the Honda Type R Sportline. So Sportline meaning it hasn't got the big Type R wing. We've gone from 20-inch alloys down to 19, but we still have the big boy 350mm brake discs, which stop you like a good one. As I said, round the back, there is no wing, but to be honest, I kind of prefer the subtle look. If this was an all-out track car, then maybe because of the aero. But other than that, we've got the triple exhaust system at the back, and looks, I'd definitely say it's decent. Okay, so moving into the interior, with this being a 5-door, you actually get quite a bit of space in the back, but more importantly, where you really get the most out of this car is in here. You've got a 6-speed manual, you've got 3 drive modes, R, Sport and Comfort, and we'll get onto that in a second. And you've got this nice little dash here, which is a bit gimmicky, but it gives you loads of information, from turbo pressure to how much accelerator input you're giving to how much boost you're building. It's got every single thing. I think I said boost twice because I'm very excited, but talking of boost, so teching away, do you get it? Teching away under the hood, we've got a 2-litre 4-pot that produces 320 brake horsepower and 400 newton meters of torque. It has a 0 to 62 a claimed time of 5.8 seconds, so we'll see how well it can do that. Over here you can see we've got the little snell there, so it is a turbocharged engine, meaning there will be some lag, but it's all about being in the right gear and in the right rev range. Let's see if we can do that. And to test that, we're going to use this. This is the Race Logic Performance Box Touch. Not only is it a touch screen as mentioned, but you can also use it to test acceleration, deceleration and lap timing. Everything is displayed on the screen, so there's no need to have an additional phone or anything like that, and you see the results immediately. Let's get straight into it. Cars in R mode. Let's get below a 5.8, please. So pulling over, I'm pleased to inform, I know it's 0 to 62 was 5.8, but you know, every little number matters. We got 5.78 0 to 60 and a 2.84 0 to 30. That's not bad numbers at all. So, let's start off talking with drive modes. We have 3. We've got Comfort, which obviously means comfort. It puts the suspension into comfort. Steering wheel gets a bit lighter. The dampers get softer, which is great because you've got adaptive suspension on here. And it plays around with the traction control a tiny bit, just a little tad. Sport, things get a bit firm, and that's what I'm in now. So steering wheel gets a bit more pointy, suspension gets firmer, not crashy, firmer. And as mentioned, everything else kind of slackens off a bit and gives you a bit more control. And then you have R mode, which in my opinion, on the road is brutal. The rev matching, which is great to have, you can't turn it off as well from what I've tested. It gets really, really R. But with R, what you get is a really engaging, direct feeling with the car. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I really like this. The only downside about the drive mode is that there's nothing that allows you to set an individual mode. So ideally, you'd have the suspension in Sport, which is the halfway house. Steering would be a bit more lighter, especially on the road. You don't need it probably as precise. And the ASD and the traction control, all of that nonsense, you could probably dial down and just give you a bit more freedom. But other than that, gearbox. It's a very, very good package. The package has been secured. Now, don't get me wrong, I know we're living in 2022, we've got emissions, we've got noise cameras coming everywhere, and we can't make cars as loud as we used to. Boy, those old Hondas, them VTEC, yo. We can't have that anymore. But what we don't need is almost like a bee at a barbecue. You know when you're having a barbecue, you got the burgers out, you got the sauce out, yeah, you got the lettuce out, and everything's rosy. And then you've got this bee that just won't go away, and you don't want to swat it, because then he's going to call all these boys, and then before you know it, it's like, honey, I'm in trouble. Like, I got stung, honey, So, as I was saying, the sound sounds like a bee. Let's just drop it into third here, straight away, automatic rev. Okay, go on, mate, go on, mate, go on, mate. So I'll go down into second for you. And listen to this. Yeah, it's not very natural. But other than that, it's a decent drive. The gearbox, as I said, is in perfect reach. It's not too over there, it's not too over here. It's just within, and throw. Don't even get me started on the throw. The throw is spot on. Have you seen? Nope, you haven't. Keep crossing. I knew you were gonna do it. You keep jogging, Mary. The throw's just right where you want it. It's instant. It makes you think, what's the hype over the paddles? Honda, salute. Okay, so it's a manual, it's a driver's car, we've got that all-important driver and car engagement. But where can it actually improve? Now, this is the FK8, and this was actually made in 2017. This is a 2021 model, and this is actually Honda's heritage range, which is why I couldn't drive it on the track. I did ask him, and he said, nah, mate, can't take it on the track, you mad? It's the heritage. Yeah, he just doesn't talk like that, but I'm just obviously Essex, and we're going further into Essex, you've got to talk more like that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, this needs a refresh, and the Honda Civic Type R 2023 is only around the corner. I believe in a few days, actually, or if this video hasn't gone live by then, we should be seeing it in the UK, so I'm very excited to get my hands on it just off the back of this. But it's roughly got the same engine, it's got roughly the same power, but I believe there has been some chassis work. Now, if you ask me, aside from the interior bit that I'm just looking at here, there's a lot of red, and that's the Type R colour, so it is what it is. But other than the interior, this is probably the most engaging hot hatch available. Drive a few cars and tell me otherwise. It's a no-brainer. So Tim, cameras off, and between me and you, would you actually have one? Yes. Number one, I don't lie. I don't talk nonsense. This, for me, is the most engaging hot hatch I've driven, and I've driven quite a lot. In fact, I've driven the i30N, and don't get me wrong, that's got a manual box as well. But there's something about this feeling, whether it's the length of the chassis being slightly longer than your average hot hatch, and the gearbox, this has got to be the template. And I don't know if you can notice, I am jumping up a bit in my seat, so that's why the sport on certain roads, the R rather, on certain roads isn't the best, but you take it all the way up and it's a joy to drive. And you also have a little dump sound as well. I don't know how often that dump sound happens and how often you can hear it, or whether it's through the speakers, but when you do come off the accelerator and let go of the boost, you get a little whoosh sound. It's insane. point it in. You see the line? Open. Just want to change down each time, even when I don't need to. I finally get it. Would I want a manual in my day-to-day car? Probably not. But for a weekend blast, yes. On a track, debatable. Because on a track sometimes, especially if you've got a high-powered car, sometimes it's good to not have to clutch and just keep your hands on the wheel. Or just, but this, I get it now. So yes guys, if you have enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed driving this car, please smash the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified whenever we get a new video out on the channel. And I will see you in the next one in about 500, 600 miles of driving this car, even more. Take care, God bless. Turbo, yo! Wow. It's insane, man.